Welcome back, everyone, to Genshin Interact. Today, we're going to be looking at the new change to the banner system, or at least the actual difference between the banners from what we had seen last time, which was having both Chiori and Ito, which we've known for a hot minute, but the 4 stars on the banner have changed a little bit from what we remember. Now, in recent times, we had Yunjin, Goro, which those two characters thankfully have stayed the same for this specific banner, but we thought Xingqiu was going to make an appearance for the first half, but instead Dory has kicked him to the curb, and it seems like Dory's going to be here instead as the other 4-star. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. And Rift, what are your initial thoughts looking at this banner, specifically with the 4 stars in question?
Well, it's not looking too great, at least for people who aren't invested into Geo, right? At first look, you look at this and think, from the perspective of a player who doesn't really use Geo and isn't like Geo supremacy, right? It just looks like it's just completely useless. If I'm just gonna be completely honest to a player like that, which is not, not gonna lie, a lot of people, maybe I'd venture to say most players, this banner is just useless because Dory doesn't have a lot of use. There is argument for her use at C6 because she gets infusion, and so there's things you can do. She's more of a fun character. She's not like game changing. She's not gonna, change your account. She's not a goated 4-star, but she's something. But I'd be huffing copium to say that she's like really good and you should pull for her. Goro and Yunjin thankfully are still here, and they actually are good 4-stars to be on this banner because obviously both characters, in terms of the 5 stars this patch, at least in the first half, are Geo characters, Chiori and Ito. So having Yunjin and Goro right here is going to be very beneficial for people who actually do want to pull these 5-star characters or already have Ito from the past. Maybe they pull Navia. There's a lot of things you can do with mono Geo teams. So very good characters to have on the banner in terms of 4 stars, especially if you don't have that C6 Goro. Yunjin comms are very good as well. So that's kind of just my initial thoughts on the 4 stars. I just really feel bad for the players who don't want that, right? Because it's like, man, Dory is just not it.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing actually is that it's almost actually a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because if you think about it, Xingqiu being on this specific banner, people wanted him, but we were basically telling people, and I think most people, even if they specifically didn't want this team, if Xingqiu was here instead of Dory, I think a lot of people wouldn't have pulled on this banner, and maybe they would have wanted either Xingqiu himself, or they would have wanted more constellations on him. And by not having him on this banner, actually, for a lot of people, like you said, that are not going to be pulling on this banner because of the just full amount of Geo on it, it's actually almost a blessing in disguise, because now Xingqiu can go on a more, I guess, useful banner for them. We're going to have Neuvillette and Kazuha on the second half of 4.5, so it's almost maybe a possibility for him to be there, and considering both Neuvillette and Kazuha are high value characters and S tier characters to really pull for, maybe that'll be a little bit better if maybe Xingqiu was thrown on there for people to actually be okay with getting the 4 stars as well, considering the 5 stars are already great. Now, like you said, this specific it's already kind of interesting actually, because if you think about it, you've already got a 4-man team, kind of like with Raiden and the Pyro and Electro supports for an Overload team when Shivers came out on Raiden's last rerun. And if you look here, in general, I mean, even Ito's banner is Ito, Dory, Goro, and Yunjin. And Yunjin obviously increases the normal attack damage. And then you've got Goro, obviously just in general, helping everybody who is Geo. And then with his stuff, it's max of, I believe, 3 characters of Geo is the best way to really pull him and play him. And I know Dory's no Bennett, so you're not getting like an extreme buff or whatever to Ito or whatnot, but amazing heals. But it's still a healer, so we're getting something other than Xingqiu. Xingqiu does have some heals in his kit, but Dory's an actual straight-up healer, as well as when, her burst is active, not only are you healing, but you're also connected to her little thing that also restores energy. So maybe if your team is just maybe lackluster in just having energy issues and, needs more energy, which 3 Geo characters, if you're running, and usually Goro and Yunjin are high ER, so if you're struggling for energy on your Ito, I'm a little concerned, but can still help. It's just something little. At the same time, if you're running I think it would be even fine to run just straight up mono Geo and just throw what's her name from Chiori on the other half and just throw her on this banner as well. I don't know. It's just a very interesting team comp to look in general to look at them. I don't know, Riff, what you're kind of thinking. My brain's kind of fried at the moment, even just looking at this banner, just to see the differences.
It's an option, like you're saying. There's so many other better options than just trying to place Dory. She's just kind of underwhelming, but like, I don't know. Me personally, I have C6 Dory, so the way I've built her is more as a Hyper Bloom on-fielder. So I gave her Sacrificial Greatsword so that when I use her skill, I get it back, because at C6, when you use Dory's skill, you gain an Electro Infusion for about 3 seconds. So by being able to use her skill twice, I get about 6 seconds of an Electro Infusion. So it's still not very long, even getting to use it twice, but it does give me 6 seconds of where I can be doing on-field Electro hits. I just went a full EM build on her, so she'll be hitting Hyper Bloom cores on field with an Electro Infusion, and then I use her burst. I go off field, and even in her burst, as you're on other characters, since you have that little Electro connector from her lamp placed from the burst to your character, you can trigger the Bloom course to Hyper Bloom by having that connector. But I thought that was kind of neat, because that still can trigger the Hyper Bloom, and it's triggering from Dory, and you're still getting a massive hit if you have a lot of EM, right? So it's kind of like I was saying earlier, it's really just a fun factor kind of team, because obviously there are way better options for Hyper Bloom, like Kuki as an off-fielder with 100% uptime. You could even do, if you have Sino, obviously you're settled there. Catching can do it. There's a lot of options, but that's just one way I built Dory, because I had the C6, so I figured why not, right? But like, other than that, it's really difficult to give her credibility to actually be used. And yeah, she's a healer, but even then, she's also kind of underwhelming at that. And who knows, maybe I'm just not seeing it because I did build her not as a healer, so maybe I'm just in the wrong there. But once again, Kuki does that, so, and even when she's not built as a healer, she's kind of okay at healing, right? I don't know. I don't want to throw Dory under the bus too much, because I did build her, so I don't really have an excuse to throw under the bus. So I don't know. It's a very weird banner, and like you were saying though, Vixen, it can be a saving grace for a lot of players. It's just an easy, skippable banner, and I think that can be a good thing, because it's not like there's any struggle to feel like you have to pull on the banner. It's just easy skip, easy 3 weeks to just save up, get ready, right? We got Nervalette Kazuha, 2 S tier characters coming around the corner in the second half. Then we got Arlecchino in 4.6, and then whatever happens in the second half, we got all these new characters, Claron, and there's also Siegewen. There's going to be new 4-stars, and then there's Natlan, so like, it never hurts to save, people. It never hurts to save. So I think this can be a good banner in that sense.
I see this as just being one of the probably worst banners for people to pull on, in terms of probably not going to have the most amount of money, I think, thrown into this specific banner. I think Jory's a great character. I think she got a little screwed here in terms of like actually getting thrown in here. I think it was great to throw her with, Ito, but yeah, it is what it is. We'll see what happens in the future. I think that a lot of people are going to be pulling for Kazuha, especially with, him constantly getting more reruns, and this is probably going to be his last, in-game rerun, I believe. I believe this is already his 3rd banner, or his 3rd rerun. I'm not sure which one. So we could possibly stop seeing a lot of, Kazuha reruns, and possibly see him on the Inazuman Chronicled Wish in the future. I don't really know. That's kind of just more of a personal thought as well. So this might be the last time a lot of people might be able to see Kazuha on the banners as well. But besides that, that's everything we have for this video. We did want to kind of just talk about the recent change. Let us know if you guys are going to be playing on this banner, and let us know what you guys got, or if this is just, like we said, such an easy skippable banner to actually just wait and get some more characters. Please let us know down in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe so you guys could follow more of our content, and also check out our Discord if you have the time. We thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.